Oh man, what a day, what a day. uh, so I was supposed to be at San Diego Comic-Con today, but I didn't make it. I did not make it. And the reason I didn't make it, it's my fault. I overslept, slept through my alarm. And really the reason I slept through my alarm is because I went to the movies last night. It was a late screening of Barbie. That's right, Barbie. I did the whole Barbenheimer thing. Well, I didn't do a double feature. I just wasn't gonna do a double feature. But I saw both movies over the past couple of days. I saw Oppenheimer first, which wasn't planned, but whatever. It was coming up, and I had planned on seeing Oppenheimer. I wanted to see Oppenheimer, but it was just whatever. I didn't get tickets right away. See, with Barbie, I got tickets the first day they were on sale. I made sure I got my ticket. I was in there. But with Oppenheimer, I kind of waited. And then just one day, I looked at the seats and I was just like, you know what? Even though the IMAX is filling up or whatever, there's a suitable spot for me. So I was like, why not? So I went ahead and got my Oppenheimer ticket for Thursday night. And I had my ticket for Barbie last night, which was Friday. And yeah. So air conditioning has turned on. It's been hot, so I'm gonna AC it up. So yeah. I saw Barbie last night, and it was a late night, and like I said, I pretty much slept through my alarm and woke up super late. And the thing is, I guess I still could have gone to Comic-Con. I guess I still could have shot down to San Diego. But I was just thinking about it. I was just by the time I get up, get ready, gas up the car, head down there, I'll probably get down there. I've already missed what I wanted to see, who I wanted to see. And, just, it wouldn't have been worth it to go all the way down there, really just to kind of not have a plan and then shoot back up here. I felt like it wasn't going to be worth it. And even people that I tried to schedule, time, carve time out to see, they couldn't meet up. So it was just why bother? Why bother? And on top of that, parking, because I did pay for parking in advance and I lost that money. Shout out to my good friend Nikki. I'm so sorry. She's the one that hooked me up with Comic-Con badges, and I am terribly, terribly sorry that I wasn't able to make use of them. I will, however, talk to y'all about Barbenheimer. Since I didn't make it to Comic-Con today, I decided to get on the NPC and play around a little bit. And the beat that I made, I even named Barbenheimer just because it's in my head, not because the beat has anything to do with either movie. But yeah, it's really funny because of course we all saw the meme grow, and it became a thing. It's now become this cultural phenomenon. And it's really interesting because, well, let me just say this. I'm gonna read a tweet that I posted. I know y'all just Jay, you're always referring to Twitter and social media, but I'm gonna read this tweet that I posted earlier today when I really kind of thought about things, and I really was able to process these movies that I've seen over the past 2 nights. I said, look fam, can't even lie. 2 filmmakers I've always been kind of lukewarm on just hit us with a 1-2 punch of instant classics. Barbenheimer has totally restored my faith in the power and beauty of film. And I mean that shit. And I've even had some people, reach out and they're just Jay, are you serious? Especially with regard to Barbie. They're just Barbie is really that good? And I'm just yeah, it's really that good. And, I'm going to talk about Barbie, but first I'm going to talk about Oppenheimer. Take a sip of my delicious pink lemonade though. It's all pink, all pink. So I'm not like the biggest Christopher Nolan fan. I'm just not. Like, that's not to say that I don't think, the man is talented. I think the man is super talented, actually. It's just that the majority of his work doesn't really hit me like it hits other people. Like, Inception is probably my favorite film from him. I think Inception is just out of this world genius. I love it. I love it. And I like Batman Begins. But yeah, overall, I'm just not a huge Christopher Nolan fan. Like, his work is fine. He's super talented. Technically, like, his work is just like I acknowledge all of that. Most of his work doesn't hit me. But with Oppenheimer though, I don't know. Number one, it's a gorgeous film. It looks amazing. And it's like a 3-hour biopic. And shot with IMAX cameras. So it's really interesting to kind of like watch this movie that's shot on such a large format, but in a lot of ways it's an intimate story. It's like what's going on in his mind, and a lot of like what happens in his personal life. It's just it's kind of like how when Tarantino shot The Hateful Eight on 70 millimeter. It's just like 70 millimeter IMAX. These are like formats designed to show like expansive vistas, and things like that, to show the majesty of kind of like the surroundings. And these are such personal, almost like interior pieces. And it's just like, wow, okay. Not using the format as it was intended to be used. And I think that that's a great thing. But there are some truly majestic shots in Oppenheimer. And then just like, what everyone is looking forward to, like, the bomb, the Trinity test, like that entire sequence is just, oh man. And the acting is phenomenal. Oh man, Cillian Murphy kills it as Oppenheimer. Robert Downey Jr. as Lewis Strauss, just brilliant. I mean, these are like, I'm calling both of those as Oscar-winning performances. And just how the film is structured, it reminds me a lot of JFK, Oliver Stone's JFK, as well as The Social Network. Just the way that they're structured. Like when you watch the films, like, you'll understand. I just think that they are. I just think that Oppenheimer is just brilliant. It just really is. And the fact that it's this 3-hour biopic that has like captured people's imaginations. Like it's performing. I think I read Deadline, like, it's slated to make like $77 million over the weekend. Like, it's performing like a debut superhero film, which is just crazy to me. And I really think that it's going to have long life at the box office. And I'm just, I was so amazed because I'm sitting in the theater and it's such a varied crowd. Young and old, and just people of all demographics, and folks were riveted by this film. And it's not a crowd pleaser. Like, you're not going to walk out of this movie, cheerful and hey, yeah. No, you're going to walk out of this theater. You're going to walk out of the theater like feeling like, whoa, almost gutted, because I feel like it reminds us that there's a lot that's not within our control. We could be living our lives doing, our thing, and then something beyond our control happens, and that's it. It's a very powerful film. I think its message is timely, especially given with what's going on in the world as far as like war. It also just makes me think about, like climate change, and how we are kind of our worst enemy, and we do things that almost seem to hasten our our ultimate demise. Humanity, humans, people, us. But Oppenheimer is just a very, very powerful film, and I dig it a lot. There's sex. There is sex. I did not know that Oppenheimer was a pimp like that, but apparently he was. And there's sex and boobies. Was not expecting that. Yeah. Okay, now on to Barbie. Barbie. And it's funny because of the perception that everyone, what they have of Barbie and the notion, like what they have of this film, everyone is all pinked out. Like when I went to see it last night, I had on my pink button down. I was looking fresh. And Barbie is, I guess, in contrast to Oppenheimer, relatively lighthearted. It's a tremendously like silly film. It's very self-aware. A lot of like, winking nudges to the audience. But also it's very much an exploration of what it's like to like have an existential crisis. Like, you're wondering like what is your place in the world, in the universe, like in the whole grand scheme of things. Who are you? And what does this all mean? Like, are you important? How do you affect everything, others around you? Like, I mean, that's part of it. That's what sets things off. Barbie essentially has an existential crisis. And the way they tie everything together, I think is really smart. It's a film that, like it embraces like the IP that it's based on while critiquing it at the same time. I think that Mattel was very brave in letting Greta Gerwig and Warner Brothers like take such an iconic character and do what they did with her. And look, if you like, there's no shortage of people online, folks like Critical Drinker and whoever else, how they're always railing against what they deem to be woke, or, what they deem, whatever. Yes, Barbie does have a pro-feminist, anti-patriarchal, anti-patriarchy message. Were you expecting anything else? Of course they were going to do that. Of course that was going to be a major theme of the movie. But I liked the way it was handled. And one of the funny things, I don't want to give anything away because I know it's still early and people haven't seen the movie, but one of the things that Barbie does, which I think is smart, is that it shows what happens when things are flipped, when the oppressed becomes the oppressors, and it's just like shit doesn't get better, like like but in addition to like it's kind of like political messages and everything, Barbie is also just a very inventive film. It's very visually striking, everything from like the costumes to the sets. You can tell that the film is very much influenced by like old school musicals, and even just kind of like like animated, classic animated, like shorts, like the Looney Tunes, the whole kind of like Warner Brothers Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies kind of stuff. But yeah, I just feel like the film is just very inventive, and it's so distinctly like Greta Gerwig's vision. And I think that's what I really love about the movie, is that they didn't play it safe. Like Barbie is not what you expect it to be. It's not what you think it's going to be. I mean, it is in certain aspects, but I mean the execution, it's not what you think it's going to be. And I really do, I just admire like the bravery that it took to like bring a film like that to the big screen with a big budget, with the blessing of like every like that's unheard of. Like I can't imagine like any company giving the go ahead to use like their intellectual property in this manner. And yeah, the acting is great as well. Like Margot Robbie kills it. I think Ryan Gosling does a fantastic job as Ken. Also another standout. I really like, Michael Cera. My boy, Michael Cera. I really liked him as Alan, Ken's best friend. It was a good time. It was a good time. But yeah, both of these films, it's just like the creativity and like the ingenuity behind these films, just kind of like really, I feel like movies they're supposed to be spectacles, right? They're supposed to bring us into worlds that we've never seen before, take us places we've never seen before, show us things we've never seen. And I think that both of these films do that. And it's really, I mean, look, with one of them being this super high fantasy based on a child's toy, and the other being like, you know, a serious like wartime biopic. But for them to like do things in such distinct ways and push the medium of film so far, and to like just capture the imagination of the public in such a unique way. This is what film is all about. And so when I posted that, when I tweeted, you know, what I tweeted, that's what I meant by it's kind of restored my faith in the power and beauty of film, because like this is the shit that we're supposed to get, whether you feel it or not. And that's, you know, everything is subjective. So look, I love both of these films. You might like one of them, you might like one more than the other, you might hate them both, you know, like whatever. But the thing is, film, cinema, the movies, you know, the shit's supposed to be not just entertaining, but also provocative, also creative, pushing boundaries. I just feel like these two films do that. And it's just kind of perfect that this synergy, they have this synergy between them. And you know, this all happened. I was feeling really, you know, like the strikes, both the writer strike and the you know, the actor strike, you know, it kind of got me feeling away. It's what it is. But these movies, you know, make me feel like ultimately things are going to work out. And those of us who have been working toward our moment, we're going to get it. We're going to be able to show the world what we can do, and audiences will be receptive to it. So, yeah. So those are my little rambly thoughts on Barbenheimer, this cinematic phenomenon that we have found ourselves enthralled by this weekend. If you haven't seen the films, I highly suggest you do. I highly recommend seeing them on the big screen. Like, don't wait for streaming or whatever. Like, go to the movies. See Oppenheimer on the biggest screen you possibly can, because there are some shots that are just incredible, just absolutely amazing. And see Barbie as well on the big screen, because some of those sequences are just just fantastic. And if you have seen them, let me know what you think. All right. I don't think I'm going out tonight, because I've been out the past 2 nights. I think today is going to be a chill day. All right, friends, that's all I got. So I'll see you in the next one.